Week 1 is here, and San Francisco is coming to town. So let's have a preview of this game, shall we? And let's talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. For those of you just joining, my name is Jay. Thank you everybody for liking this video, for subscribing to the channel for all your Lions news, hot takes, and whatnot. Thanks for being here. So this is the first preview for Week 1, San Francisco coming to town. This is our first 2021 preview coming in. Cannot believe that the season's here. Feels like we have been waiting forever. I think just because of the regime change, all that has transpired, the yearning for this season specifically, not under Matt Patricia, it has taken quite some time, but thank God we're finally here. For the past few months, we've been talking about what is Aaron Glenn's defense going to look like? What is Anthony Lynn's offense going to look like with Goff at the helm? What are these wide receivers going to be like? Are they going to gel? TJ Hockenson, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. Like, we have taken all summer long really just looking at this team as a whole and wondering. It's been a lot of wondering, it's been a lot of speculating, and I'm really excited to finally see this new Detroit Lions team. Now, if you watched my record prediction video, which you can find up here, if you watched that, then you know that I did predict the Lions to lose this season opener. However, this video is a look into what the Lions can do, how they can win this game. I do think that the Lions have some key advantages in this game that could really lead to a win. So what's it gonna take? Let's break it down. First and foremost, you look at the Niners defense as a whole. They have one heck of a defense. They really do. Now, I know that they lost defensive coordinator Robert Saleh this offseason. He took the head coaching job for the Jet Skis. However, their defense is still a very solid one. You look at the 2020 season, the Niners' pass defense gave up the fourth least amount of yards per game, coming in at about 207 yards. On the flip side, the Lions were 31st in the league, giving up 284 yards a game. Now, the Niners' rush defense was ranked 8th in the NFL when it came up to yards per game allowed. And then again, on the flip side, you have the Lions, and we were 28th in the league. Now, one thing to note about that rush defense for the Niners is they didn't have Nick Bosa all year. He tore his ACL second game, week 2 last year. That was devastating for them. In fact, the Niners as a whole, they really suffered a good amount of injuries. And by good, I mean a terrible amount. They actually suffered a ton of injuries, really causing their defense to be a little bit shakier. However, as a whole, what Robert Saleh was able to do with that defense is still really mind-boggling. 4th in the pass defense, 8th in the rush defense without Nick Bosa. Hey, that is one good defense, and Nick Bosa is back. Now, the Niners were also in the same division with the Rams, therefore, they have an understanding of Jared Goff. They have an understanding of the way that he plays, the ball that comes off his hand, the play action, all of it. So the Niners really do have a leg up in that capacity. They're used to seeing Goff. So one of the things that I'm most looking forward to here is, how does our great O-line fare against such a good defense? How does the addition of Penei Sewell really affect the Lions offense as a whole? Interestingly enough, I mean, you look at the Lions last year, 2020, our offense was ranked 12th in the NFL when it came to passing yards per game, and San Francisco finished right after them at 13th in the NFL passing yards a game. Now, offensively, the Lions are just an extremely different team than they were last year. New offensive coordinator with Anthony Lynn. We're going to be running the ball a lot more. You look at this wide receiver core, it's an 85% turnover. Like 85% of the wide receivers on this team are different than they were last year. The only wide receiver coming back is Quintez Cephas. You look at Jared Goff taking the helm. We've had Matt Stafford for 12 years. What I'm saying is, this is a very different offense, and it's not to be really compared with last year. Now, offensively, something that I'm really looking forward to is the Swift and Swaggy combo. DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. How does our RB1, RB2 tandem work? how do they gel? Both guys actually had comparable seasons, even though Williams was playing for Green Bay. When you look at their stats, they're pretty comparable. Swift had 114 attempts, 521 yards. You're looking at 4.6 yards a carry and 8 touchdowns. Well, then you go over to Williams, who was RB2 for Green Bay. He had 119 attempts, 505 yards, looking at 4.2 yards a carry and 2 TDs total. Both of these guys were RB2s last year. Adrian Peterson was our rushing leader. DeAndre Swift coming up next. Well, over in Green Bay, it was Aaron Jones, and then you have Jamal Williams. So you have two guys whose stats are very much the equivalent of one another. However, I do believe that looking at Swift, looking at what he did last year and where he's able to go, the ceiling feels so very high. These two guys are going to have a year together, so long as they both stay healthy. And that's where the addition of Penei Sewell is huge, specifically looking at him now as our right tackle. You got Taylor Decker on the left, you got Penei Sewell on the right. The run blocking is going to be vital coming from Sewell, opening holes for Swift, for Williams to be able to weave through. Now, all this being said, the number one thing that I really think the Lions have going for them coming into week 1 is there's no tape on this team collectively. There's no tape on how this team functions under Aaron Glenn, under Anthony Lynn, under Dan Campbell. There's nothing but the preseason. And the preseason is, as I said yesterday, it's just vanilla, it's basic, it's light. It's really a lot of preparation individually rather than as preparing against the Lions as a whole, because there's nothing on them yet. Yes, there's obviously tape on the nuances of the individuals. There's tape on Aaron Glenn's defense while he's working down in New Orleans. There's tape on all of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh, there's no tape out there. They got no idea. No. What I'm saying is, as a whole, the Detroit Lions are a unknown. They're an unknown. I really think that's probably our greatest advantage coming into this game against San Francisco. But real quick, a message from our sponsor. If you're looking to get an advantage over your sports book this season, download BetQL from your App Store or Google Play Store. Their Best Bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best betting recommendation for each game, and they give you solid reasons why you should. They cover everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. And if you're more of a lone wolf like White Fang, when it comes to researching, BetQL has a ton of different tools for your own betting research. I'm talking sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineup and injury news, you name it. Click the link in the description, and by doing so, enter the word Lions as a discount code during checkout, and you get 25% off your betting subscription. In fact, if you check out their BetMGM offer, you get a free year of BetQL. You have to use this link to redeem that offer. Check out their sportsbook offer page to claim free offers upon signing up at one of the many sports books listed. You can find all this information in the description of this video. It's a great chance to beat your sports books this year. As I mentioned earlier, you're looking at a complete turnover in wide receivers for the Lions, the only returning receiver being Quintus Cephas. Well, really, we all know that where are the most attempts going? It's TJ Hockenson. He is going to get lit up this season. You look at last year's stats, he was 67 for 101, 723 yards total. So an average of about 10.8 yards per reception and a total of 6 TDs. Hockenson will be the main target for Goff this season. Not a shadow of a doubt in my mind. Lastly, we finally get our first look at Michael Brockers as a Lion. The Niners ranked 15th overall in the NFL for rushing yards per game last year, but Aaron Glenn's defense is going to be quite different than Corey Unlin's. Not to mention, Jelani Tavai is nowhere to be found on the field. Thank God. Brockers is going to be up front this time with rookies Aleem McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike. We'll have Romeo Okwara and Trey Flowers on the edge. Very excited to see how Trey Flowers fares on the edge. Romeo Okwara, I'm expecting to have an even bigger year than last year based on his performance in such a poor performing defense. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a little bit skeptical still of our cornerbacks. Little bit worried. Jeff Okudah came out, had a terrible rookie year. A lot of things that went into that, as I've stated in the past, from the groin injury, poor leadership, no preseason, all of it. However, Jeff Okudah needs to step up this season. We have to be able to trust him on the corner. Don't get me wrong, man. I was a little bit worried after that preseason game against Pittsburgh, watching him get absolutely burnt against their wide receiver on the outside. It happens. I totally understand, but it did raise some flags and a wee bit of an alarm. Look, I know that I am predicting the Niners to win this game. Yes, I am. However, I do believe that Detroit can pull this W out and upset them week 1. It's here, it's home, that's big in and of itself, and it's a brand new squad. The lack of film on this squad under this coaching staff is a huge leg up. The return of Bosa for the Niners definitely hurts us. Their defense as a whole is more than solid, but this Detroit Lions squad as a whole is vastly different than the one that we saw Matt Patricia put together for us last year. This is a very different team, very different coaching styles, and I believe that these guys want to win for the coaches. Can Brockers in the defense shut Jimmy G down? Can Goff in the offense actually put up enough points to win this game? It's going to be a very interesting one, and really, it's kind of a weird game to be preparing for mentally, because we can see San Francisco collectively as a whole and what they were able to do last year. However, when you look at the Lions, it's a lot of individuals coming together in a brand new scheme, a brand new team, different coaches. It's different, and that's good. I think that is the leg up, the element of surprise. Hey, who's winning this game? Is it San Francisco or the Lions? Drop it in the comments. I look forward to reading it, discussing, going back and forth. And as always, I'll continue to keep you updated and catch you next time on Let's Talk Lions.